We are reshuffling the chairs of the Titanic as we're approaching the 2025 NFL season, fantasy football, week 1, and we're going to get an early look at the waiver wire, look at some bench stashes, look at some guys you may want to pick up. However, it is week 1. Your lineup, your depth chart should be intact, so this is only if you want to play around with the back end of your benches, want to make some moves, you're bored, or if there's somebody that you just like better. But we're going to go over 25 players to look at off the waiver wire. As we go throughout the week, we'll go deeper and deeper through the waiver wire by position. So if you feel like this is not deep enough, hit that subscribe button because we're going to get deeper as we move on throughout the week. Before we dig in, though, you do need to click that subscribe button because we're covering the waiver wire every day throughout the season. We're going to help you set your lineups by looking at all the matchups every single game this year. And then we're also going to be doing deep dives on all the trending players with the You Need series. Click that button. Stop missing out. And we're starting off looking at our first waiver wire player of the 2025 football season. We're looking at Ollie Gordon. Now, you should be rostered in your league. If you've been following the channel, he's rostered in your league. However, a below 50% roster rate on some of these fantasy football formats out there. This is a backup running back that could emerge huge this season. He's a lottery ticket stash. He's been looking good in preseason. Jalen Wright has not been looking good. So if you drafted Wright and Gordon's there on the waiver wire, make that swap right now. Gordon is an upside play, and you're going to need a couple upside plays right now at the running back position. It is a very deep rookie running back class. We're going to see a few more Ja'Cory Crosky merits within the next month or so. We're going to see a few more of those guys emerge, and you want to have some lottery tickets just in case that happens soon. Brandon Aiyuk's on the pup. Should be drafted. However, when you're looking at Brandon Aiyuk, this is a player that might have fell through the cracks in some leagues, especially home leagues. He should be drafted. He shouldn't be on waivers. Take a look, but he's on the pup. If you can hold him, if you can put him in an IR spot, go get him. Check and see if he's there. Hunter Henry is a tight end that gets a lot of targets in the system with the Patriots. Drake May looks his way. Not the sexiest player out there. Not a ton of upside, but he's consistent. He gets good volume. And if you're looking for a tight end off the waiver wire, he's going to be targeted week in and week out by Drake May. Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback on the waiver wire you may want to think about. Brian Thomas Jr., huge hitter, first-round draft pick in a lot of leagues. Then you're looking at Travis Hunter. They have upgraded the wide receiver position. You're looking at Brenton Strange. This could be a quarterback that emerges, maybe, maybe not. Maybe a solid QB2 throughout the year. New coaching staff. Remember Baker Mayfield with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year. Liam Cohn could allow Trevor Lawrence to cook this year. A lot of work to the running backs. They got a lot of talent at the running back position. Trevor Lawrence, dart throw off the waiver wire. Ray Davis is one of my favorite backup running backs in the league. If James Cook goes down, Ray Davis is going to cook. He proved that last year on small samples, 5 RB2 weeks, while sharing the backfield with James Cook. This is another handcuffed running back that needs to be rostered. Luther Burden, more than likely rostered in your league, but could have slipped through the cracks. This is a wide receiver that might have a slow burn up this year, like might take him a few weeks to see considerable targets. However, this is also a wide receiver that could emerge being a top 10 wide receiver in the league. He's that talented. Former 5-star recruit, was looked to be a first-round talent that fell to the second round. He has been making waves in preseason and training camp, and it's a little bit muddy here on the Chicago Bears depth chart. Maybe that's why it fell in your draft, but this is a talent that if you're looking for a lottery ticket wide receiver, could emerge somewhere down the line as a top 12 wide receiver. Zach Ertz, another tight end that's going to get volume. This is a offense that can push it. That will be in a lot of high-scoring games. Zach Ertz could have fell in your draft. He's trending good. Also very consistent week to week last year for the tight end position. And he's cheap. He's free. Could be on waivers. Matthew Stafford fell through the cracks in a lot of leagues. due to the injury, but it looks like he's going to be back. Not a big-time scorer in fantasy football, but we have Devontae Adams. Puka Nakua's healthy. He did not have that last year. Puka Nakua started last season hurt, so it took some time for him to ramp up too. So Matthew Stafford could be a free get for you off the waiver wire. Jaydon Blue is an upside dandy. He should have been drafted, as he's been hammered all offseason long, but he is a backup running back, so in home leagues, he could have slipped through the cracks, but he catches the ball out of the backfield, 4.3 speed, ambiguous running back depth chart here for the Dallas Cowboys. I look for the Cowboys to be a wreck this year. Javonte Williams leading the charge with Miles Sanders there. You're looking at Jaydon Blue eventually getting some work this year. Cedric Tillman, sneaky surprise player for the Browns. Most leagues drafted. However, it is the Browns, so you might have gotten forgotten about in traditional leagues, drafting at home. Flacco's there, but Flacco can push it a little bit downfield. And if Flacco's hitting, Tillman's probably going to get some targets downfield. He had a run of 3 games last year, and he could be making some splash plays down the field, getting those air yards, cashing in. And he could be like your wide receiver 5 or 6 on your roster. Chig, Okonkwo, big-time tight end prospect here. Highly athletic. Cam Ward could be locking into him. You got him, Ridley. He could be locked in, getting enough targets here to be fantasy relevant early in the season. You got Denver on the road. That's not looking good for a rookie quarterback. I would not suggest starting him unless you're in a deeper league. However, after that, it loosens up a little bit. Geno Smith, if you're looking for a quarterback off the waiver wire, he might be there. You got Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty. You do have the Patriots on the road. New coaching staff, Carroll, Kelly, could be faster paced. Amari Cooper added to the team. You got Thornton there to stretch the field. Geno Smith, considering he could be free, could help you out this year. Dylan Sampson, we're looking at Quinshon Judkins hard. Should be rostered too. If he's on waivers, you got to think about him. But Dylan Sampson starting off the year, catching balls out of the backfield, explosive. Looking at Jerome Ford as well. If you're looking for a running back to stash, Dylan Sampson should be it. He should be drafted just like Christian Kirk though. But the Texans are going to throw the ball. And he should be second in line in targets. Him and Higgins. And if the Texans are slinging it, which could be happening, they're on the road against the Rams. Then they got Tampa Bay on the road against Jacksonville. Tennessee could be a slower matchup, a la Baltimore as well. Some of the ancillary wide receivers like Kirk, like Higgins, get some extra targets in these matchups. If he's on waivers, go ahead and get him. Brenton Strange is an upside tight end. New system here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Should be running a lot of routes. Could be getting extra targets here. This team's stronger at wide receiver. Trevor Lawrence has a new coaching staff that could be peddling more targets to the tight end. He's cheap. He's free. He could be available. Bryce Young. This team's getting hit at wide receiver, but T-Mac is better than anything he's ever had. So I look for him to chuck balls up to him. JT Sanders. You're also looking at Xavier Legette. Bryce Young could be pushing the ball all over the place. You got Jacksonville on the road, Arizona, Atlanta. Those could be some hot games, some good matches for you to use them. Bhayshul Tuten, 4.3 speed, RB3 on the roster. This is a running back that you're going to be stashing, and maybe later you'll be cashing. If one of the running backs, Travis Etienne or Tank Bigsby, goes down because he'll be getting more work, also somewhere down the road, you might see him emerge getting some touches. Adam Thielen added to the Minnesota Vikings. First 3 games of the season, Jordan Addison is going to be out. He's going to be out there on the field. Last time when he was with the Vikings, he was top 5 in red zone targets. Justin Jefferson coming back from an injury. Look for him to get some work, some opportunity. He's free. He could have went undrafted. I doubt it, but take a look. JT Sanders is another tight end that could be getting some extra work, especially with Thielen gone, especially with Jalen Coker out. JD Sanders might be getting a ramp up in targets, might be getting some red zone looks, considering shorting over the middle. And on top of that, they got T-Mac to stretch it out. Sanders could be hitting big this year. Woody Marks. Can Nick Chubb hold it down for a full season? Because if he can't, Woody Marks is going to trend up. And this is an offense that's going to move the football. So if you're looking for a handcuff running back, here's another one. Isaac TeSlaa should be getting deep targets downfield. He's been looking good in preseason. He's a free wide receiver to pick up. And if somebody goes down, a la Amon-Ra St. Brown, a la Jameson Williams, he's going to be seeing more routes, more workload in this offense. Brashard Smith, watch the routes ran week 1. Watch how he's being implemented. But he was running with the ones with the Chiefs. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He's a former wide receiver. He might hit early. Remember, Rashee Rice is out the first 6 games. They might use him more than advertised to start off the season. Dante Thornton, 4.3 speed. He's also built like a skyscraper. This is a wide receiver that could be getting deep targets downfield. You could be using him in a pinch if you're hurt at wide receiver. He's also got splash play upside. You got some contests up here where you may want to throw him in, maybe even daily fantasy football. You got Washington, Indy, and then also those tougher matchups. Since he's not the wide receiver 1, he might be getting extra looks downfield. DJ Giddens is the cuff to Jonathan Taylor, and he's got a good production profile from Kansas State. Good athleticism, good size. I would not be surprised if he emerges as a top 12 running back in fantasy football if something happens to Jonathan Taylor. Giddens is that good of a prospect, probably sitting there on the waiver wire. However, it's going to be hard to drop somebody for him, but if you want him, he's going to be there. Torrey Horton is going to be getting opportunities in this offense, targets downfield. He's got good size, good production profile from Colorado State. Might be a wide receiver that emerges later on down the road or even as early as week 1. Those are 25 players we're looking at off the waiver wire for week 1 fantasy football. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will have more waiver wire content throughout the week, going deeper by the day, looking at these players, more advanced analytics, trying to get ahead of everybody else, trying to be a week early on these prospects, and we're doing this all year long. Click that button. Stop missing out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.